you all to the phase 2 of the induction program and also hope that you all are doing safe in your homes and taking care of your health and yourself. So, to begin the session, I once again welcome all of you to the program. To begin the session today, we are starting with the importance of yoga, meditation, physical exercise to keep ourselves fit in these difficult times. And today with us, we have Hari Prasad from the Department of Physical Education, DNMIT. With the experience of over 16 years in conducting yoga session for different category of people in society, he is now working with us as the yoga trainer at BNM Institute of Technology. He has designed and implemented many unique yoga practice techniques, including yoga on chair for controlling and preventing juvenile diabetes and many others. Sir, wholeheartedly, I welcome you to our first session of the second phase of the induction program for our students.
Thank you, Praveen, sir. Thank you. Students, am I audible to all of you? Students? Aditi?
Yes, sir, you
Aditi?
are audible.
Yes. Yeah. Good morning. So this is Hari Prasad here. I think you met me in the college in several activities. So today I'll be conducting the yoga session, which is the most relevant topic for the day, I can say. The reason is people are going through the stressful life in the different angles and different dimensions because of the pandemic second wave, I can say here. So, to relieve your stress and to increase your immunity and to build to strengthen your lungs, there are several yogic postures, there are several physical activities, there are several pranayama techniques. Pranayama technique is a breathing techniques, I can say, that you can incorporate in your daily routine. And here, while doing this kind of yoga module, what I'm going to teach you today, so no need of any what you can say, the properties for practicing this kind of asanas or pranayama modules. So you can spare your time of 15 to 20 minutes a day, either in the morning or in the noon or in the evening. Means you had to make sure that your stomach will be empty. Means you had to make sure that you will be having your lunch, dinner, or your breakfast an hour or after the practice of an hour after the practice of the yoga practices. What I'm going to teach you today. So today, as I told already, we are all going through the second wave of corona pandemic. So at this juncture, we all are going through the stressful life, either at the physical level, mental level, or also at the emotional level. So that to control all these things, you must have the calm, cool, and rigid mindset. I can say calm, cool, and rigid mindset that can be easily obtained with deep breathing techniques. So nowadays you can Google. The people are more interested in learning, are also teaching the technique called as proning, PRONING. Okay, this is being mentioned in yoga. This has been mentioned in yoga by in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I think in the year in 600 BC or 700 BC itself. Okay, at that time we have given the name for this practice as Makarasana. Makara means a crocodile. Makara means a crocodile. If you look into the lifespan of a crocodile, it lives more than 100 to 150 years. The reason is the strengthening of the lungs, also the intake of the oxygen. So, in the same way, if you lie down on your stomach, by keeping your hands crossed on your shoulders like this, and resting your chin on your hands by sleeping on the floor on your stomach, that itself is more than sufficient. That itself is more than sufficient for you people to strengthen your lungs and to increase the uh, flow of oxygen to the lungs, I can say. Okay, you can make an experiment also here. Most of you will be having the oximeter with you people here. Put it in the finger and lie down on your stomach. Measure the reading in the initial stage before going to the practice, before practicing Makarasana. In the supine in the prone position, that is called as Makarasana, lie down for about 5 minutes. Then you measure the oxygen level so that you can see the increase of your oxygen level minimum of 10% within you. I can say within 5 minutes. So within 5 minutes, as you can able to increase the oxygen flow for about 10% in your lungs, why can't you implement the same practices in your daily life? That you have to make sure, and you have to question yourself here. So you have to make sure that in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, as soon as you wake up from the bed, you have to lie down on your stomach on the hard surface, not on the bed itself. Okay, on the hard surface, you have to spread a mat, a jamkhana, or anything like that. Lie down on your stomach, cross your hands like this. Then bring your right hand on the left shoulder, left hand on the right shoulder. Bring your hand, chin, on the intersecting point of your hands. That is your wrist. Okay, rest your position, rest your body in the same position, in the prone position on your stomach for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, I can say. Then after that, turn your whole body or roll your whole body towards your right, roll your whole body towards the right, and sleep on your side of the body for about 5 minutes. Then lie down on your back. After completion of 5 minutes of Makarasana, 5 minutes of the linear posture of the body, lie down on your back. Lie down on your back. Rest your neck on the floor by keeping a roll of a towel or the small pillow, so soft as well as a small pillow under the neck, and lie down on your back. Bring your legs on a chair. Bring your legs on a chair so that your legs will be aligned at the angle of 35 to 40 degree. 35 to 40 degree. That itself will make sure that the flow of accumulation of the bad blood or the bad accumulation of the bad blood which might be there in the leg region, that will be pumped to the heart very easily, because in that moment, in that particular posture, your heart will be towards the gravitation force. Your heart will be towards the gravitation force, so that whatever the accumulation might be there in your leg region, that will be flown towards the heart. That will be flown towards the heart, and your legs will be clear out of the bad flow or bad accumulation of the blood, I can say there. So that the tendency of hurting your varicose valves, that will be there in the calf muscles. Okay, varicose valves are the second and third heart of the body. Okay, varicose valves are the second and third heart of the body. If you take your legs above the heart, if you take your legs above the heart, the flow of blood takes place. The flow of blood takes place from the legs to the heart without any pressure or without any hurdles, I can say, so that your legs will be clear, your varicose valves will function in the proper way, so that the pressure on your heart can be easily relieved. The pressure on your heart can be easily relieved. So first you have to practice the proning, that is called as Makarasana. Okay, that is called as Makarasana. After proning, that is Makarasana, you have to make sure that you are going to sleep on your side of the body, that is the linear posture of the body. Then after the linear posture of the body, you have to lie down on your back. You have to bring your legs on a chair or on the sofa or on the cot. You have to lie down on the floor and keep your legs on the chair or on the sofa, so that your legs will be aligned at the angle of 35 to 40 degree angle. That is more than sufficient. That is more than sufficient for keeping your calf muscles healthy, because your calf muscles, within the calf muscles, there are two different valves, that is called as the varicose valves, that can be easily balanced and rejuvenated. Okay, that is very much possible with the practice of the elevation, that is called as Urdhva Padasana. That is called as Urdhva Padasana in yoga. Okay, after completion of all these things, sit in Vajrasana. Most of you are very much familiar with Padmasana. Most of you are very much familiar with Vajrasana. Sit in Vajrasana for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, because of undigested food, even the undigested food will cause us the acid reflection. Undigested food will cause us the acid reflection. Because of the acid reflection, you'll feel the breathlessness. So you have to make sure of one thing here, that after completion of each and every meal, that is your breakfast, lunch, and the dinner. You have to make sure that you'll be sitting in Vajrasana. The practice of Vajrasana is very simple and very effective. The practice comes like this: you have to stand on your knees. Make your toes flat at the back. Join your heels. Rest your buttock on your heels. Sit on your heels. That's all. Okay, as soon as you sit on your heels, if you are new to the practice, you'll get a stretch in your ankle joint. You'll get a stretch in your thighs. You'll get a bit of stretch in your back of the thighs also, and in your shin bone. Okay, that is very much common in the initial stage of the practices. That is very much common in the initial stage of the practices. But that is one of the most effective practice in yoga. Vajrasana is one of the most effective practice in yoga. It is as precious as a diamond. Vajra means a diamond. Okay, it is as precious as a diamond. The reason is, in our body there will be around 72,000 nadis. There will be around 72,000 nadis. Nadis means the pulse, which is the energy carrier. Okay, nadis means the pulse, which is the energy carrier. According to Sujok acupressure, S-U-J-O-K, Sujok acupressure, Su means your palms, Jok means, J-O-K means your feet. Okay. As soon as you sit in Vajrasana, the junction of nadis, all the pulse ending will be there in your palms as well as in the feet. Okay. As soon as you sit in Vajrasana, the junction of nadis means your ankle joint will get stretched, Because of the stretch, that will get activated and rejuvenated. The junction will get activated and rejuvenated. So, as soon as you sit in Vajrasana, your back goes straight, your lungs will get opened, so that the flow of oxygen takes place more to the lungs. One. Second thing, because of the stretch in your ankle joint, the junction of the nadis will take place, means activated, so that the food digestion takes place in a very much proper way. Whatever the food you eat, okay, that will get digested in a proper way as soon as you sit in Vajrasana. That is the beauty of Vajrasana, I can say. So that the tendency of accumulation of the acidic juice can be easily avoided out of the practice of Vajrasana. So that acid reflection also can be prevented, I can say. So prevention is better than cured always. So you have to make sure that as soon as you complete your breakfast, lunch or the dinner, sit in Vajrasana for about 5 to 10 minutes on the hard surface, not on the bed. You have to make sure about this. Okay, you have to sit on the floor in Vajrasana by spreading a mat or directly on the hard surface. Also, you can sit very easily. Okay, as I mentioned already, in the initial stage of the practice, it will be a bit difficult if you're not used to the practice. But as soon as you get used to the practice, it won't take more than a week to get used to the practice. But as soon as you get used to the practice, you'll be always healthy forever, I can say. That is a major advantage. Of practicing Vajrasana. Okay. So that is a major advantage of practicing Vajrasana. Second, next is the breathing techniques. You have to make sure that you'll be flushing yourself every day. Flushing can be done with the regular practice of the Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati means you have to sit in Vajrasana. If you're comfortable in this posture, sit in Vajrasana, maintain your back straight. And you have to maintain the back straight. After maintaining your back straight, you have to focus only on the active exhalation. Focus only on the active exhalation. Means exhalation should be forceful. Inhalation should be passive. Means you have to focus only on the exhalation. The practice comes like this. First, you have to exhale completely. After exhalation, inhale deeply. This is Kapalbhati. Okay. In between two exhalations, you have to make sure that you'll be giving a pause of a second. And that pause is more than sufficient. For you to inhale passively. And that passive inhalation will make sure that the next exhalation will be very much active. Okay, so you have to make sure that with each and every exhalation, your exhalation should be active and forceful. These two are mandatory things while practicing Kapalbhati. And in initial stage of the Kapalbhati, the count won't be more than 30 to 40 in the initial stage of the practice. As soon as you get used to the practice, you can take the exhalation count till 500, 600 also. Okay, observe the practice once again. You have to maintain the back straight. Assume that you are sitting in Vajrasana. Exhale completely first. After that exhalation, inhale deeply. and focus only on the active exhalation. I focus only on the active exhalation like this. Like this. Okay, the minimum count should be 30. Minimum count should be 30, and maximum depends on your convenience, depends on your body convenience, it depends on your breathing convenience, I can say. After completion of Kapalbhati, you had to maintain a back straight in Vajrasana itself and try to adopt Apana Vayu Mudra. I hope all of you can see my hand here. All of you can see my palm here. Okay, all of you can see my palm here. So you have to make sure that you are folding your index finger down and press it to the base of the thumb. Press it to the base of the thumb. You have to hold your index finger down and press it to the base of the thumb. Join your middle and the ring finger. Join your middle and the ring finger and press it to the tip of the thumb. Your tip of the thumb should be pressed with your tip of the middle and the ring finger. Your small finger should be stretched out. Your small finger should be stretched out. This is called as Apana Vayu Mudra. This is called as Apana Vayu Mudra, also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. I'll repeat. You observe the practice. If you are comfortable, you practice along with me. Stretch your fingers out completely. Fold or bend your index finger down and press it to the base of the thumb. Press it to the base of the thumb. After pressing it to the base of the thumb, join your middle and the ring finger and press your tip of those two fingers to the tip of the thumb. Stretch your small finger out. Stretch your small finger out. If your right hand is also free at that moment, you can adopt the same mudra with your right hand also. This is called as Apana Vayu Mudra, or also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra, or also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. Apana Vayu, the accumulation of the bad air, that is also called as the gastritis. Okay, also called as the gastritis. Even the gastritis can be brought to a very good control of you with the regular practice of Apana Vayu Mudra. Apana Vayu Mudra. Gastritis will cause us indigestion. Gastritis will cause us the breathlessness. Even if with the breathlessness, if you go to any of the doctors may consider it as the corona also. So you have to make sure that you have to practice this particular mudra every day while practicing pranayama, any of the pranayamas I can say. Okay, today now I taught you Kapalbhati. While practicing Kapalbhati, you had to adopt Apana Vayu Mudra with your both the hands like this. You had to adopt Apana Vayu Mudra with your both the hands like this. Okay, Apana Vayu Mudra is also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. Mrityu means the death. Sanjeevini means to overcome or to avoid. Overcome or to avoid. Okay, Sanjeevini means the person who won the death, I can say, Sanjeevini. So the sudden death happens mainly because of the heart attacks. Okay, now you can see the ratio of the deaths during this COVID time or the pandemic. The people are dying mainly because of the cardiac arrest. The people are dying mainly because of the cardiac arrest or because of the heart attacks, sudden collapse of the heart. Okay, so these two can be easily avoided. With the regular practice, of Apana Vayu Mudra. Your blood will get thin. So no need of taking any blood thinning tablets like Ecosprin if you keep practicing Apana Vayu Mudra on the everyday basis. Okay, Ecosprin on your blood thinning agent, I can say. So it will make sure that your blood will be maintained thin always. Okay, so that you can avoid the problems related to the cardiac arrest or the heart attacks very easily with the regular practice of Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra, also called as Apana Vayu Mudra. Apana Vayu Mudra. So this is the one you have to practice whenever you are free. So you can adopt this mudra whenever you are free. Also, you can teach anyone this particular mudra so that even they can lead their life without any struggle at the physical level, struggle at the mental level, or also the struggle at the emotional levels. So that you had to teach the others also of your family members or your friends the same mudra. So you can contributing the positive health to the others, I can say here. This is called as Apana Vayu Mudra. In Apana Vayu Mudra, you have to make sure that you'll be maintaining your back straight. Okay, if you are comfortable, maintain your back straight in Vajrasana. Maintain your back straight in Vajrasana. Adopt Apana Vayu Mudra with your left hand. With your right hand, adopt Nasika Mudra, or also called as Nasagra Mudra, or also called as Nasagra Mudra. The procedure comes like this. You have to stretch your right finger out completely. Join your index and the middle finger. Then fold it down. Press it to the base of the thumb. Press it to the base of the thumb. Then join your ring and the small finger. Join your ring and the small finger and your thumb. Okay. And you can assume that turn it towards you. Turn your palm towards you. Your thumb is for the right nostril. Your thumb is for the right nostril. Your small and ring finger is for your left nostril. Okay. Turn your palm towards you. Your thumb is for your right nostril. Your small and ring finger is for your left nostril. Okay. The procedure of Nasagra Mudra or Nasika Mudra comes like this. I am repeating the practice procedure again. You have to join your index and the middle finger. Bend it down or fold it down. Press it to the base of the thumb. Press it to the base of the thumb. Then bring your fingers to the U shape of the U. Then turn your palm towards you. Then turn your palms towards you. Then close your right nostril with your right thumb. Maintain a back straight. Practice along with me now. Practice along with me now. Now, after closing your right nostril, now we're going to practice one pranayama called as Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, also called as Anuloma Viloma Pranayama, also called as Anuloma Viloma Pranayama. Okay, close your right nostril with your right thumb. Whenever you practice pranayamas, you have to make sure that you'll be practicing pranayama with the exhalation. First, exhale completely through the left nostril. Exhale completely through the left nostril. After exhalation through the left nostril, inhale deeply through the left nostril itself. Close your left nostril, open your right nostril, exhale completely through the right nostril. Exhale completely through the right nostril. After exhalation through the right nostril, inhale deeply through the right nostril itself. Inhale deeply through the right nostril itself. Close your right nostril and exhale completely through the left. This completes one cycle of Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Inhalation through the left, exhalation through the right. Again, inhalation through the right, exhalation through the left completes one cycle of Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, also called as Anuloma Viloma Pranayama. Also called as Anuloma Viloma Pranayama. Okay, while practicing this particular pranayama, you have to make sure that your exhalation duration is double than your inhalation duration. Your exhalation duration is double than your inhalation duration. For example, if you are inhaling for 4 seconds, your exhalation should be of 8 seconds. Your exhalation should be of 8 seconds. Okay, this is the mandatory procedure you have to follow while practicing Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama or any other pranayamas. Okay, pranayama means pranasya ayama iti pranayama. Pranasya ayama means controlling of your prana or life force energy. Controlling of your prana or life force energy is called as pranayama. Okay, if you know how to bring your prana, means your breath, to a very good control of you, you can lead the healthy life as long as you can, or as long as you wish. So you have to make sure that your inhalation should be of controlled inhalation should be of 4 seconds, and controlled exhalation should be of 8 seconds minimum. So that makes sure that your lungs will get more oxygen, and as soon as your lungs get more oxygen, even the heart functioning takes place in a proper way, and rest of the organs can be brought to a very good control of, you can say, so that you can be healthy forever. Here. Okay, this is called as Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. While practicing Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama with your left hand, you have to adopt Apana Vayu Mudra, also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. With your right hand, you have to adopt Nasika Mudra, also called as Nasagra Mudra. The procedure of Apana Vayu Mudra or Mrityu Sanjeevani Mudra comes like this. You have to stretch your left hand fingers completely, fold your index finger down, press it to the base of the thumb. After pressing your base of the index finger to the base of the thumb, join your middle and the ring finger, and you have to press those two fingers tips to the tip of the thumb. Okay, then stretch your small finger out. This is called as Apana Vayu Mudra. With your right hand, after adopting Apana Vayu Mudra, with your right hand adopt Nasika Mudra, also called as Nasagra Mudra. The procedure comes like this. You have to join your fingers like this, means your index and the middle finger, then press it, bend it down, press it to the base of the thumb, press it to the base of the thumb. Then join your ring finger and the small finger completely. Turn your palm towards you, towards your nostrils. Your right thumb is for the right nostril, and your small and the ring finger is for your left nostril. Okay, let's practice once again here. Maintain the back straight. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Exhale completely through the left nostril. Your exhalation should be minimum of 4 seconds. Okay, your exhalation should be minimum of 4 seconds. Sorry, exhalation should be minimum of 8 seconds. After exhalation through the left nostril, inhale deeply through the same left nostril for about 4 seconds. Count your breath. Close your left nostril. Exhale completely through the right nostril for about 8 seconds. After exhalation through the right nostril for about 8 seconds, inhale deeply through the right nostril itself for about 4 seconds. Then close your right nostril. Exhale completely through the left nostril for about 8 seconds. In the initial stage of the practice, to count your breath or to synchronize your breathing with the count is a bit difficult, I can say. But as soon as you get used to the practice, you can be healthy forever, I can say. This particular pranayama module is called as Kumbhaka Rahita Pranayama. Kumbhaka Rahita means without holding your breath. Without holding your breath. After a week of practice, 1 week of practice, after 1 week of practice, you can practice Kumbhaka Sahita Pranayama. You can practice Kumbhaka Sahita Pranayama, means in the same procedure of the pranayama, you have to hold your breath after inhalation, that is called as Antar Kumbhaka. After exhalation, if you hold your breath, that is called as Bahya Kumbhaka. Means with the same breathing pattern you have to practice, with breathing count you have to practice. Inhale deeply for about 4 seconds. Inhale deeply for about 4 seconds. Hold your breath after inhalation for about 4 seconds. Exhale completely after holding your breath for about 4 seconds. Exhale completely through the right nostril for about 8 seconds. After exhalation through the right nostril for about 8 seconds, hold your breath for about 4 seconds. Hold your breath for about 4 seconds. After holding your breath for about 4 seconds, inhale deeply through the same right nostril for about 4 seconds. Then close your nostrils, hold your breath for about 4 seconds. Then after holding your breath for about 4 seconds, open your left nostril and exhale completely within 8 seconds. At the end of the 8th second, there should not be any residue to exhale further. Repeat the practice. Hope you are thorough with the practice now. This is called as Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. This is called as Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Whenever you inhale for about 4 seconds, that means that That means that at the end of the fourth second, there should not be any further gap to fill further more air. And the destination of your air is your navel region. Whenever you inhale, you have to make sure that you're blowing your navel region out completely. You're blowing your navel region out completely, and you're opening your lungs completely out. Okay, making sure that you'll be broadening your lungs chest completely. Okay, and whenever you exhale, the exhalation should be from the navel region through the nostrils, Okay, and at the end of the eighth second, there should be any residue to exhale furthermore air. There should not be any residue to exhale furthermore air. They had to make sure of these two things. One. Second thing, whenever you inhale, your stomach is like a balloon. Whenever you inhale, you had to blow your stomach out completely, and whenever you exhale, you'll be sucking your stomach in. These two are the mandatory things you have to practice, and you have to make sure while practicing any of the pranayama modules. If you have any doubts in practicing this particular pranayama, that is Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, you can ask now. Do you have any doubts, students? If you have any doubts,
students can send a message, sir. They cannot talk now. They can send message in the chat box.
Sure, madam. Yeah. Thank you.
If there are any questions, I will let you know, sir. You can continue, sir. If there are asked box, I will let you know, sir.
Okay. Next, we'll on to the next stage of the pranayama, that is called as Bhramari pranayama. Okay, that comes under the Udgita pranayama module. Here, you have to make sure that you'll be maintaining your back straight. And close your flap of the ears from your thumb. Rest of the four fingers should be placed on your closed eyes. But don't press your eyes. Or the eyeballs with your fingers. Okay, gently have to place your fingers on your closed eyes. Raise your elbows up. Your elbows should be at your shoulder level. Okay. After maintaining your back straight, exhale completely through the nostrils. After exhalation through the nostrils, inhale deeply. Exhaling, you have to make the humming bee sound. The procedure comes like this. While exhaling, you have to generate the humming bee sound. Then the procedure comes like this. The duration of the chanting should be till the end of the exhalation. Means you have to control your breath. I'm not asking you to hold your breath, but you have to control your breath whenever you exhale. And till the end of the exhalation, you have to generate that humming bee sound. Again, observe the practice. Exhale completely with that Shanmukhi Mudra, also called as Shanmukhi Mudra. Inhale deeply. Exhaling, chant. Minimum duration of chanting should be of a minute. Maximum, all it depends on your lung capacity. Maximum, all it depends on your inhalation capacity. Maximum, all it depends on your exhalation, holding and controlling capacity. Okay, so this is one of the most effective practice. Bhramari Pranayama is one of the most effective practice, where if you have any blockages in your upper part of the body, in your upper respiratory tract, I can say, URT, that can be easily opened. Your T junction, your ears, eyes, nose, and the mouth. Your ears, eyes, nose, and the mouth. This is called as the T junction of the body. You can observe it is in the shape of the T. Okay, whatever the problem you have got in the T junction, okay, whatever the problem you got in the T junction can be easily resolved, with the regular practice of Bhramari Pranayama. Like whatever the problem you got with your ears, whatever the problem you have got with your eyes, your forehead, your nose, and your mouth, as well as your throat, can be brought to a very good control of you with the regular practice of Bhramari Pranayama. Okay, because of the increased resonance in your upper part of the body, whatever the blockages you have in your skull or in the head region, that can be easily brought to a very good control of you. Okay, it helps you to increase the functioning of your brain. It helps you to increase the functioning of the brain. It helps you to calm down your mind. So that this is one of the most effective practice during this pandemic situation, I can say. Okay, yeah. So if you can able to practice these practices, what I taught you today. One is Makarasana. That's also called as proning nowadays. Makarasana regularly. That helps you to increase your flow of oxygen to the lungs. So that with the regular practice of Makarasana, that's one of the most effective practice. That's one of the most effective practice, so that you can avoid running behind the searching for the oxygen cylinders. What is happening nowadays? Okay, you can avoid running behind searching for the oxygen cylinders with the regular practice of Makarasana. That helps you to get the fresh oxygen to the lungs. Okay, so if you have the open terrace, if you have the open lobbies, if you have the open balcony, instead of practicing within four walls, try to practice Makarasana in the open air if possible, if your place permits you. Go to the open air, either to the open terrace, either to the open balcony, or to the lobby. Okay, lie down on your stomach for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Snigdha Sri, please mute yourself. Audio. Snigdha, thank you. So, if you practice it in the open air, the tendency of getting more oxygen to the lungs will be in the peak, I can say. So that helps you to strengthen your lungs very easily. Okay, if you want to do the experiment with that, adopt or insert the oximeter to your middle finger, before going to the practice. Surya Dev Singh, mute yourself. Insert your oximeter to the middle finger. Okay, measure your oxygen level within you before the practice, and after completion of 5 minutes of the Makarasana practice, insert the same oximeter to the finger and observe once again. You can see the difference within yourself, I can say. But if you practice it in the open air, that will be having its own n number of benefits following by that, I can say. Okay, one. Second thing is Vajrasana. Vajrasana practice comes like this. You stand on your knees. Join your knees as well as the feet at the back. Make your toes flat on the floor. Rest your buttock on your heels. As soon as you rest your buttock on your heels, in the initial stage of the practice, you'll get the tremendous stretch in your ankles. You'll get the tremendous stretch in your thighs, and also you'll get a bit of pain in your knees. Okay, that is very much common in the initial stage of the practice. But as soon as you get used to the practice, there will not be any such kind of issues after a week of regular practice, I can say. Okay, that can be practiced after completion of your any meal, either your breakfast or your lunch or the dinner. Or After completion of all these three, you can sit in Vajrasana, so that the tendency of converting the food into the acidic juice can be easily avoided. So that the tendency of getting the acid reflection in your esophagus can be brought to a very good control of you. That indirectly helps you to keep you healthy, and also that helps you to avoid the breathlessness very easily. Very easily, I can say. Okay, so you can practice this. Next is pranayama. In the initial stage, I taught you Kapalabhati. In that Kapalabhati, while practicing any of the pranayamas, I taught you three different mudras. One is Apana Vayu Mudra, also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. While practicing pranayama, Kapalabhati is not a pranayama. Make sure that and lock in your mind that Kapalabhati is not a pranayama. Kapalabhati is a cleansing process. Kapalabhati is a cleansing process. Okay, with your fingers you have to adopt Apana Vayu Mudra with your both the hands. The procedure comes like this: fold your index finger down, press it to the base of the thumb of your both the hands. Then press your tip of the thumb with your tip of the middle and the ring finger of your both the hands. Then stretch your small finger out completely. Okay, this is called as Apana Vayu Mudra, also called as Mrityu Sanjeevini Mudra. Okay, while practicing Kapalabhati, anyhow your hands will be totally free. Adopt Mudra with your both the hands. Sit in Vajrasana if possible. Maintain your back straight and focus only on the active exhalation. Okay, inhalation should be passive. Okay, the procedure comes like this. Okay, exhalation should be from your both the nostrils. And with each exhalation, you have to suck your stomach in. It means your abdominal muscles in. Okay, this is the practice of Kapalabhati. After completion of Kapalabhati, let your left hand be with the same mudra of Apana Vayu Mudra. With your right hand, adopt Nasika Mudra, also called as Nasagra Mudra. The procedure comes like this: join your index and the middle finger of your right hand, fold it down and press it to the base of the thumb. After pressing your tip of the middle and the index finger to the base of the thumb, join your small and the ring finger. Bring your fingers to the shape of the U. Turn your palm towards you. Close your right nostril with your right thumb. Exhale completely through the left nostril. After completion through the left nostril, while exhaling in the initial stage, okay, no need of counting your breath. After completion through the left nostril, inhale deeply through the same left nostril. For about 4 seconds. Count your breath. Then close your left nostril, open your right nostril, exhale completely through the right nostril for about 8 seconds. Count your breath. After exhalation through the right nostril, inhale deeply through the right nostril for about 4 seconds. Close your right nostril, open your left nostril, then exhale completely through the left nostril for about 8 seconds. This is called as Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, Kumbhaka Rahita. Kumbhaka means holding the breath, Rahita means without holding the breath. Okay? No, so after a week full of practice the same pranayama with Kumbhaka. Kumbhaka means Kumbhaka Sahita Pranayama. Okay, let's practice that also now. Exhale completely through the left nostril. Now inhale deeply through the left nostril for about 4 seconds. After inhalation, close your both the nostrils. Hold your breath for about 4 seconds. Open your right nostril. Exhale completely through the right nostril for about 8 seconds. Count your breath. That breath counting is very much important. After exhalation through the right nostril for about 8 seconds, hold your breath after exhalation, that is Bahya Kumbhaka, for about 4 seconds. After exhalation, after holding your breath through the right nostril, inhale deeply through the right nostril itself for about 4 seconds. Count your breath. After inhalation through the right nostril for about 4 seconds, hold your breath again for about 4 seconds. After holding your breath, open your left nostril, exhale completely through the left nostril for about 8 seconds. After 8 seconds of exhalation, hold your breath for about 4 seconds. Then repeat. This is the procedure of practicing Kumbhaka Sahita Pranayama. Okay, the Kumbhaka Rahita Pranayama procedure comes like this. If you want to note down, you can note down. Inhale deeply through the left nostril, close your left nostril, exhale completely through the right nostril. After exhalation through the right nostril, inhale deeply through the right nostril itself for about 4 seconds. Close and exhale completely through the left for about 8 seconds. Inhale through the right, left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Completes one cycle of Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, Kumbhaka Rahita. Procedure and the duration of each inhalation should be 4 seconds. Exhalation duration should be 8 seconds. Then Kumbhaka Sahita procedure comes like this. Exhale completely through the left nostril first. Now inhale for about 4 seconds through the left nostril. Hold your breath for about 4 seconds. Exhale completely through the right nostril for about 8 seconds. After exhalation through the right nostril for about 8 seconds, hold your breath for about 4 seconds. After holding your breath for about 4 seconds, inhale deeply through the right nostril itself for about 4 seconds. Then hold your breath for about 4 seconds. After holding your breath, exhale completely to the left for about 8 seconds. After exhalation through the left for about 8 seconds, hold your breath for about 4 seconds. 4 is to 4 is to 8 is to 4 is to 4 is to 8 is to 4. This is the procedure of Kumbhaka Sahita Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Kumbhaka Sahita Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. After completion of this particular practice, I taught you the next pranayama and the last pranayama, that is Bhramari Pranayama. Bhramari Pranayama. In that procedure, you had to close your flap of the ears from your thumb. Rest of the 4 fingers should be rested on your closed eyes. Should be rested on your closed eyes. Should not be pressed. You have to make sure about this. Okay. Should be rested on your closed eyes. Maintain a back straight. Exhale completely through the nostrils, and your nostrils will be open. Now inhale deeply without any count. Without any count, inhale deeply for about 4 seconds. Without any count also you can do this, or with count also you can do this. While exhaling, chant or generate the sound of a humming bee. Till the completion of your exhalation, you must be keep chanting in a rhythm. You must be keep chanting in a rhythm. If you don't know how to control your breath, the rhythm will be disturbed. So that the practice comes like this. So that don't do that. If you're not used to the practice, practice within the limit itself in the initial stage, and try to increase the duration of chanting with the regular practices, I can say. Students, during this pandemic, all of us are going through the stressful life. We must know, either with pleasure or with pressure, to keep our mind calm, cool, and rigid. And for that, I know there is no medication for the present pandemic, that is the corona, but it has been proven that yoga can work to strengthen your lungs. Yoga is helpful for strengthening your lungs. Yoga is helpful for increasing the oxygen intake. Yoga is helpful in calming down the mind. and also yoga is the best practice to keep you healthy at physical, mental, as well as the emotional level. So I request one and all to practice these modules of yoga what I taught you today, so that you can be healthy forever. At the end, if you are strained and tired, at the end of the practice, if you are strained and tired, repeat the same practice of Makarasana, what you did in the initial stage of the practice. Okay, so that you can relax yourself. That is one of the most effective therapeutic relaxative practice in yoga. Okay, yeah. I hope all of you have gained something out of my session today. I hope the session was informative and helpful for all of you. Thank you.
Sir, I have one small question.
Please, madam.
Sir, when students are having exams or any such situation, they will be having some kind of fear in their mind. So, is there any mudra or breathing technique to come out of that fear in a short span of time?
Yes, madam. Thank you for this question. There's an asana, there's an asana in yoga that's called a Shashanka asana. Shashanka means a rabbit. Okay. I taught you the practice of Vajrasana. I taught you the practice of Vajrasana. In the Vajrasana practice, bend your waist forward, bend your waist down, and rest your forehead on the floor in front of you. Rest your forehead on the floor in front of you, so that the flow of blood from the heart to the head takes place in a very much proper way. Very much proper way. In Ayurveda, there is a medicine called Shankapushpi or Shankapushti. Most of you have heard about this, and some of you might have consumed this also. Shankapushpi or Shankapushti is one of the most effective medicine for increasing your concentration, increasing the memory power as well. It has been proven that Shashankasana is more effective, I can say 10x more effective than Shankapushpi. Okay, so in Vajrasana, you have to sit in Vajrasana. In Vajrasana itself, make sure that you are bending your waist forward, resting your forehead on the floor in front of you. That's it. That's all the practice is. That particular practice will help you to calm down your mind, will help you to increase your memory power, and that is the most effective practice for you to recall the things what I have studied, what you're going to study after the practice of Shashankasana. And on the day of the examination, if you practice Shashankasana before going to the examination place, means in your house itself, in your respective houses itself, practice Shashankasana for about 5 minutes and go to your classrooms for your examinations, okay, for writing the exams. See the difference in recalling and reciprocativeness in your thoughts and your examination procedures, I can say. Any more doubts?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I hope the session was informative. I hope the session was useful for all of you at this pandemic situation. I wish all of you should practice the same thing to overcome the pandemic situation without any hurdles. The hurdles like your mental stress, hurdles like your physical stress, hurdles means your emotional stress. Okay, and also I request one and all to teach. It is not a rocket science at all. It's not a rocket science at all. You can teach anyone after the age of 7. Anyone after the age of 7 till their death, they can practice this. No restriction at all. No restriction at all. Only the restriction is you have to make sure that your stomach will be kept empty. Your stomach will be kept empty before the practice of any of these asanas or the pranayama sessions. Thank you. Thanks, one and all.